Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. Now, this is not a tea leaf, is it? It is not. It is the Hanged Man. It is a beautiful, beautiful depiction via the Thoth deck we have here. This is not always like the first sign you want to see in the morning, right? But it is one that is hopeful in my estimation. This is when we come into the places of being where we realize it might be time to let go of some of the things in our life that just are not of service to us, right? We carry around so many things because we feel responsible for them. We don't make the time or really have the will to kind of take care of something, close it off and get rid of it, you know. It becomes that thing that kind of sits out in the yard and starts to deteriorate with the weather, you know, and it could be kind of an eyesore. Or maybe it is more hidden. Maybe it's something that you don't show people. Maybe it is a devotion to something that you know you've outgrown. You know you've done work enough that this no longer belongs in my life, yet we still carry it with us. And now don't worry, you're not the only one. We're all out here with, you know, just bags full of stuff we're carrying around. Hopefully we can all get together here and start to relieve ourselves of some of the, the things that seemed like they meant something, or maybe they used to, and in that time they made sense, but now, right? I think a lot of us are in that but now kind of vibe. The world just seems different in a lot of ways, and that's okay. But, you know, not all of us were prepared for the swift shift, right? And so we are kind of catching up, kind of reorienting ourselves. All right, so let's take a look here. I want to say thank you for clicking on the reading. This is a timeless reading. It is activated when you click on it. It is being recorded on November 24th, 2025. It will be put out on November 25th, 2025. I just want you to have those dates. So if perhaps, you know, you go back and look at the day that this was recorded, it might give some greater context, you know, to whatever you were going through, whatever was happening in your life. So, what is the other thing? If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. We're going to get started here. All right. So we have, it looks like a person, and I'm going to grab my stick here. We have a person standing right here. Okay, this would be the body right in here, the head right here, almost like a little hat or something, looking upwards. Now we have the star. The hand is on the star, reaching for the star. Now above the head we have, it looks like a fish. Okay, so if you've, and I'm just going to kind of move here a little bit. If you've watched my readings, if you kind of are up on some of the symbology that is specific kind of, yeah, some of it's prescribed, but some of it is specific to my own style of reading. You know, me and these symbols have really deep relationships, and if you spend more time with them, so will you. But the fish is always resources, money. I like to think of this as kind of in that, you know, the kind of Christology, the fisherman, the, you know, giver of fishes feeding the many, and that kind of feeling. So we have really a time where you you've been reaching goals. I mean, I really honestly think in this last period of time, and I have to say, when I started getting this reading ready, I felt such pride. Not in my own like work. I mean, I do have pride in my work, but there seemed to be this kind of feeling of almost not gloating, but feeling good, excited, you know? Like, you don't mind telling people a little bit. Usually you wouldn't go, talking yourself up. But in this time, I don't know. It just seems like you are getting close to, or you have reached a goal for yourself. Now, is this with money? I'm not sure, but I imagine it has to do with something with the finances or your work, making money, creating resources. So I do think that you are coming up on this. Now, it might not be the grand goal of your life, okay? But yeah, it's one of those milestones. 100% I feel that way. So I don't know. My husband has been listening to a lot of Dave Ramsey lately. And so it's like sinking into my psyche as well. But I feel like this is like you're paying off a car, right? You're getting some debt paid off so that you can start saving money, this kind of thing. It's not always like the most, sexy, I guess, kind of goals that you're reaching or whatever. It's not like the most, I'm on the Facebooks announcing it kind of thing, but it's something that really shows that you have found strength in yourself. And that's the big thing here. That not that you didn't believe in yourself, but maybe you just kind of, you don't necessarily have those huge lofty goals. You're not like a Leo or something. Like, I'm going to be the most famous ever, No, not so much a Pisces kind of dream. Now, maybe, I don't know. I can't speak for you all. And of course, your other placements do matter. But I do feel like for you, this is something that it shows you that you have the ability to be uncomfortable at times and still work through it, to have your, little toils and ordeals, yet still marching towards that, that thing that you are trying to teach yourself, that skill, that ability to stay the course, to be consistent. And that's not an easy one. Even if you're like, 80 years old, you might have always had trouble with consistency, with, really devoting yourself to something, and seeing it through. And there's nothing embarrassing about that. Let me just say, I feel like all of us have this, here and there in our life, but I think most of us have it most of the time. How many people can you think of that have started a million projects or had all these different jobs or relationships or, whatever, and they just never see it through? The majority of us. So, round of applause to you. You have met some kind of goal. And that is awesome, dude. I don't care if it's like the littlest thing. Like, I, stayed up on the laundry all week long. Never did it get backed up. Now, next week, who knows? But this week, I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, to most people, they'd say, oh, okay. Cool. You did your laundry. But like, to the rest of us that do the laundry and have lots of laundry to do, man, I see you. If you got that laundry done on time, I mean, not even on time. What's the time? I don't know. I don't think there's a real schedule. But if you got the laundry done without it piling up and up and up, and you got it out of the dryer, and you folded it or hung it up or both, whew, boy, you are an all-star in my eyes. That's like a dude, forget a superhero. Show me somebody that can keep their laundry under control, and I will say, I salute you. I love you. You are doing the good work. You are rising the frequency of the collective through and you're giving, some of us hope. You're giving some of us hope. So we also have the mule right here, okay? Now, this is so much about work, okay? We have these beautiful, beautiful working animals. These are pack animals, so they're usually, their work is moving things around, or it used to be. I don't know if people use them that much, probably in other countries. Here you see them, and they're really cute and very sassy. But, I really, with this symbol, it really feels like, again, emphasis on the hard work, but also on the lightness of heart, okay? You're not afraid to have fun. You're not afraid to laugh and enjoy yourself and treat yourself when you have reached those goals. Now, here's where we have to remember, Pisces. Temperance, okay? Tempering of self, tempering of our habits. I'm not saying that you have to be 100% like abstinent from anything fun in your life. And I'm talking sodies or processed sugars, or, having a cocktail, or, whatever. Extra TV, or we all have our things. We all have our things. And when we're feeling good, or maybe feeling really bad, we might indulge a little bit more. We might give ourselves permission to be a little more in it. And so I just want you to remind yourself of who you are and what you do and what those outcomes have looked like in the past. It could be, like that mindset, like you get your paycheck, you pay your bills, and you got a little extra. Instead of putting that away for the next, rainy day, or building on, your savings or whatever, you go and spend it. And I get that 100%. I think we all do. But sometimes, we have to remind ourselves. We got to pump them brakes and say, you know what? My future self is going to say thank you to right now, whatever it is that I decide, if it benefits building. So I do feel that there is a sense of letting go, and that letting go really seems like it's kind of within that realm of I would say, compulsive, like looped thinking, cycle, like a rapid cycle of, whatever it is that you do when you have had some good news, I'll share for me. I mean, I'm an addict. You guys, I've talked about that before. And I'm moving around, start talking about this, and I have been in recovery. I'm in I used to be super abstinent, just like 12-step, whatever. I'm a little more of the California vibe now, or whatever they call it, California sober. I was trying to get off of like NSAIDs and whatever. I don't have to explain myself. But things are going fine. I don't know. Everything's good. But, for me though, the big thing is like when things go good, it's not even, it used to be about partying. Absolutely. That was like anything could happen. And I'm like, let's party, but now, it is like the eating for me. and you guys have probably seen my wellness journey. And it's not just about the food. It has been about trying to break compulsive thinking for myself. So if something goes terrible, I'm fighting, with my daughter, I get a flat tire, whatever. Then I get the flat tire fixed. I'm excited. I put it on. Everything's good. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go get some ice cream right now. I deserve some ice cream, and it's just like, for me, it was that constantly. It still is. I just have to make different choices. So I'm not saying that these are yours. These are mine. Let me be very clear. I'm taking full ownership over like all the stuff I just said, right? But I'm saying that I feel like for you, this surrender, this hanged man energy is releasing yourself of whatever cyclic thinking that you have been in, or whatever old coping mechanism you go back to, right? Maybe it's a person even. Like this kind of, you have somebody that you're always, maybe not like breaking up and getting back together, but whenever you are alone or single, or you're feeling like you need some kind of, deeper attention or whatever, this is the person that you go back to, right? If you're with them, or if it's just physical, or if it's whatever, it's like somebody spanning over years, and you can never kind of break that cycle, even though this is not for you. Like, this person doesn't even, it's not the person that you want to tell your good news to or your bad news to. It's not the person, you barely think about them unless, right, you're feeling vulnerable, alone, excited, but nobody else is available, that kind of thing. And it could be that this is like where you're finally saying, nah, I am not unblocking them. I will not unblock them this time, man. So I feel like this is allowing you to have space to like really hold on to this good fortune, this alignment with opportunity that is also happening, because it's all a balance, right? So really good things happen to us. We have to have some kind of balancing force. I didn't make the rules. Like, I didn't. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Don't look at me. I have to go through it too, dude, just like you do. But it's like something really good happens. We have to sacrifice something else. And I am superstitious as heck, so I really fully believe in that. Now, let me be clear. I do not mean any kind of like animals or anything like that. I'm talking about, like, for instance, if I have a series of visions, powerful, profound, they add to my writing, they add to my work here, they add to, my greater magical work, I immediately know I need to sacrifice something in my life. I need to be uncomfortable. I always use the example here of, like, I'll quit drinking caffeine. I'll quit drinking soda. I'll quit drinking coffee. I will, I don't know, just do different things, like sacrificing a portion of my time to make offerings every day, to make sure that I'm praying. I pray throughout the day. So I have set rituals for each prayer, and they have to be met. And so when I'm sacrificing, and I'm going through a period of time where I do, I might add on some extra prayer, because I am giving of my time, right? I am being generous with my time and energies, and I am spending that with the divine. I'm giving that over to that part of self and that part of the cosmos. And so, this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Now, I'm not saying that it has to be some, wild thing, like I'm, never going to wear socks again, in honor of this great work. I mean, you could do that for sure, but your feet, you know, man, I don't know. So, you know, reasonable things, but also very important. I do feel that there need to be symbolic acts of devotion and offering, not for anybody, not even the divine necessarily, but for yourself, because we are beings that thrive in ritual. A lot of our lives are ritualized. Okay. All right, let's see. So we now over here, and look how beautiful this is. We have that same star upright, and we have a person right here holding a flame or a torch and guiding the way. Look at this. We have like a line of people following. Even look at this, looks like a gnome or a troll. And then we have, it looks like it says TOA, possibly. TOA. We have a house, the house here. And something about a race. Now, I almost kind of wonder, as you lead the way, if your family, your friends are kind of in awe of what you've done, what you're doing, how disciplined you've been. And I wonder if you are starting to see that people are flocking towards you for advice. They are, well, they want to know how you did it. Like, how did you do this? How did you get this going? And so I feel like there's an opportunity here to not only be a mentor for your family members and your friends and whoever else, but I also think that there's potential for you to be some kind of mentor, or maybe monetize this in some way, maybe doing videos on YouTube, or, you know, some kind of coursework or whatever it is. So I feel like as you progress in this era of your life and whatever it is that you have begun to succeed with, and for some reason I really do feel like this has to be financial, something financial or career oriented. I do feel like you will be somebody that can definitely guide others. Okay, so that is exciting. We also have the name MEM. It doesn't have to be. It could be part of a word, I suppose. But usually I would say it's Emily. Timothy. I don't know. Emmanuel. There we go. Okay, so we have a wishbone. We have a person standing here. We have a person standing here. We have the number 918. 918. So I do feel that there's going to be some kind of travel. There's something about a hum, almost like an electric sound, I think. This has been present in the work the last few days. I don't know if it's an actual physical sound, like in the physical world, or if this is almost kind of like a building. It doesn't feel like anxiety. It feels like, I almost feel like it's in your base chakra. Right around, like, well, you're like pelvic, groin, you know, what is the back part? What should we call it? I don't know. What is the medical term? Buttocks. In this base area, almost like a humming. I almost want to say that it's almost kind of like, I don't know if you've ever had like a pinched nerve, or something like that, or your nerve is like agitated and it can feel like a buzzing almost. It's kind of like that, but it's not necessarily physical, but you can feel it. You experience it physically. So I do feel like there is there's a rising desire to commingle, I think. Maybe it's sensual, but more than that, I feel like it's almost like a desire for companionship. And I think that comes along with doing well, is, you know, like as you're rising, as you're being lifted up, then it's kind of like, okay, well, I wish I had, you know, somebody to share this with that wants to like be here, wants to be by my side, wants to commune with me, you know. And I'm saying wants to because, you know, I mean, listen, we all go through periods of time in our relationships where you've grown into other parts of self and maybe you're not commingling as much. And, you know, not to say that there's not love. It's just, you know, you're not super present with each other all the time. And yeah, I can understand the desire to have that, you know, and to want to bring that relationship back into that energy, or, you know, find it through friendship with somebody else, you know. And I think that's, you know, I think that is something that's going to be somewhat important in this next time coming up as well, because I don't feel like there's fallout about it, but I feel like it's almost kind of like you have a hard time not feeling like, almost like that feeling like I'm about to get in trouble, like I'm going to get caught by my parents and I'm going to be in trouble, you know. And like, there's nothing, I don't feel like there's anything going on that warrants that kind of feeling. But I think you're trying to become aware of that feeling and to learn how to kind of dissipate your attachment to that. I mean, really, and I only say this because I often feel the same way. Like I feel, and not because of my parents, but because of relationships I've had, where I almost feel like I'm not allowed to do certain things. And even if that is was stated directly or it's implied, once that kind of energy enters the room, I will be questioning myself for decades, right? There are times where I ask my husband permission and he's just like, what? You know, like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go, like, say we're at a restaurant. I'm going to go get some more water at the machine or whatever. Is that okay? And he's like, what? Why? What do you mean? Yeah, of course. Now, it happens so much that I think he's learned kind of that, like, you know, he just says, yeah. Not because he feels that he has, you know, he can give me permission. It's such a learned behavior. It's just something, especially if I'm anxious, especially if I feel uncomfortable about anything, which could be a sensory or anything, I absolutely sink into that. So I feel like there's something similar for you where it's like, maybe not to the point where you're asking for permission, but it's almost like everything that you kind of, you want to do, you feel a smidge guilty. You know, almost kind of like mom guilt, you know what I'm saying? But like over like lots of things in your life. And I think that you are aware of this. And I think that through this work of doing things that feel like kind of more challenging, excuse me, I knew it was coming. I think that it helps get over this feeling of like, I have to like make myself smaller. I have to kind of cower to kind of just, be unseen. You know what I mean? Like, I also feel like I'm like that. I am super agreeable. Like, I'm a people pleaser to some degree, but like, it's even like more than that. It's like not weaponized. Like it's a kindness, overly kindness as a shield, right? So like if I meet somebody like in any circumstance, I'm just so like, I try to be very honey, all sweet, not sweet, but just, kind of, oh, is that what you're into? Oh, cool. And it's not that I don't mean it. I do mean it. I absolutely do. But I've also learned throughout my life that if I can dwell in that with most people, they don't hang around too long to want to talk, because like who wants to talk to that like overly nice, like, like, okay, all right, lady, but also the right people see through it. The right people come towards it. Right? The people that I'm really going to connect with. The people that will give me that sweetness with a tone of honesty and openness. You know what I mean? So I feel like for you, you're like on a similar journey of unlearning some of that, like, like, for instance, imagine if for some reason you couldn't sleep. It's like 11:30 at night. Everybody else is sleeping in the house. And you think, you know what? I really wish we had some, whatever, popsicle or something. Maybe I'll just like go down to the lick or the corner store or whatever and get something, but you never leave the house this late. It would be out of character for sure. But you really want it. And yet you feel, now this might be a bad example because it might scare your spouse, or like, you have to wake them up to let them know, or you send them a text, but they wake up with the door going up and it's startled, whatever. I'm an overthinker. But listen, you push past that, like, feeling of like, oh, well, this will be weird and maybe they won't like this, or no, I want that thing, and it's all, I'll leave a note, I'll leave a text, I'll let, whatever. It won't be like I got kidnapped. Everybody will be good if somebody wakes up, and I'm going to go and do the thing. And I know that doesn't sound like a big deal. It doesn't, but if you had anxiousness even thinking about it, then you dwell in this, as a lot of us do. But as we start to let it go, I freaking promise you, dude, those little glimmers of time that I find that, like, I'm not tripping about, like, am I gonna make somebody mad? Am I gonna be in trouble? Like, is this going to, how is this going to appear? What are people going to think? All of that. If you can just, even just like one decision a day. Oh, the freedom. The freedom. I don't know about you. I'm sorry. It may be because I'm like getting towards perimenopause and I'm just at that age. I'm 40, baby. And I have 0 F's anymore. I don't know what happened to me, but I don't know. Of course I have my things and I'm self-conscious and I struggle and what, but I also am I don't have time for a lot. I just don't. Especially if it involves anybody else but myself and my daughter. So, and my husband, of course, but lesser. Definitely a lot less. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's true. I just am in a place where it's, I don't know. I am becoming something else. I know that. Now we have the wishbone. Okay. So this is maybe the best sign of the whole thing here. You have some good luck, some really good luck coming. Okay. Use it wisely. Be aware of how you use these wishes, this good luck, these opportunities. Your prayers answered. Don't be frivolous. It's not a good time for for being frivolous in the deeper matters. Now, everything else, go ahead. Get it. Get it. We're living in a landscape of slop, right? So, but in these deeper interior places, we must hold that torch, as we saw in the reading. So, let's go ahead. We're going to do 3 lucky numbers, number 18, 19. So even recently, I have realized like how much I vocally stim in my life. And number 43. When I was a kid, my brother, who is like a year younger than me, a little bit less, but he always did sound effects. We're of the age of, oh gosh, what was that movie? Police Academy, with that dude that did all the little sound effects with his voice and stuff. And my brother would do that, and it would drive everybody just nuts after a while, because it was all the time. If he wasn't doing that, he was asking questions. Right? Obviously, I come from a very neurodivergent family. Also, we have a lot of trauma, developmental trauma too. But yeah, I've realized I do a lot of that stuff too now. I mean, I think I just feel comfortable now in my life enough that I can just be the weird that I am. So thank you for that. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. All right. Well, I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Please take care of yourself, and we will talk real soon. Good night.